when we start to break this out in a little bit more detail, I like to show this because this really starts to showcase how all this works together in the Salesforce ecosystem and where all these different tools start to plug and play together, really driving that success that everyone is looking for. Is how do all the consumers of data, whether they be business users, whether they be business systems and workflows and logic, agents, dashboards, data lakes, or any other downstream applications, all read from the same sheet of music. So as we see on the left-hand side, we could have multiple sources, right? We got Salesforce, CRM, data vendors, data lakes, you name it, files, anything. And depending on the workflow, we're gonna have MuleSoft that's gonna help us with our API point-to-point integrations. That's gonna come through and start to bring that information into Informatica on what needs to be governed, right? And we're going to walk through shortly on some good examples of what are great use cases, but let's just think of 5 out of the box right now, which is going to be customers, supplier information, product information, locations, and references. Okay, these are 5 out of the box domains that Informatica provides that are going to allow us to start to build golden records. All right, so as we see across the bottom of the Informatica slide, we keep getting closer and closer to a golden record as we get to MDM. Now we also have Informatica that has a great batch bulk ingestion of data. All right, so if we have systems generating a lot of information, does not need to be real time, we can leverage Informatica for that data integration and bring that in bulk. Now, once we start to come in, we're going to start to have 3 stages. And these, when we look at IDMC, governance, or MDM, this is a great place to start thinking about where are you in your data maturity. All right. Everyone wants a golden record, but maybe we need to start with just making sure we have our integrations put together. IDMC is going to start helping us get our data quality down right. Do we make sure that our data is complete? All right. Do we have everything filled out so that we can determine what information is correct? All right. And then as we start getting to governance, now you may have security or compliance requirements, making sure that we have everything cataloged as it's moving through the system. Do we have lineage across all of this and audit history to tell how this information goes from point A to point B to determine what that golden record starts to look like? And then as we start making sure that we have data quality, that we have governance, then we start getting to MDM, and we can start to build out a very detailed graph across a customer perspective. When we find that right customer, what's all the transactions, what's all the information from all of these subsystems to give us a clear view of that customer? Or maybe it's a product because we're facing some recall information as a manufacturer, and we need to understand the whole supply chain that fed into that product. Or from supplier and vendor information that we have a very large channel that we're working on. How do we make sure that we understand those suppliers and everything that's connected to them? We got retail locations. How can we get a crystal clear view of location by location, how they're performing, where that customer base is sampled from? How do we start to get those views pulled together so that we can make appropriate decisions? And then as we start to become consumers of that information, specifically in Data Cloud, we can feed that information right in, take actionable insights, whether that be triggering Agentforce agents to start to pick up specific triggers and start to perform work on behalf of the users. Maybe it's activating sales and existing business logic that we already have in sales, servicing, marketing, and commerce clouds. All right. And all those existing business logics that we already leverage on a day-to-day basis in Salesforce. It could also be, like we said, Tableau is a great tool to give us full view of our whole business and that everyone is making decisions. So many customers face forecasting issues because they just can't get a clear view across multiple subsidiaries where they've acquired and tried to throw these into their business systems, and their hierarchies are off and they can't make simple decisions to really drive their business and make the right actions. And then it could also be downstream data lakes where we are running analysis running insights, to generate those insights and feed them back into the system so that the whole system starts making more detailed insights or additional actions that we can take. And like we said, these could be running back in and cleaning up ERP systems, customer portals, or any other public clouds that we're leveraging to drive information. And so again, we see this as such a beautiful architecture because MuleSoft is going to really help us connect all these point to point. Our MDM is going to start to build these golden records as we build our data maturity through this process. Data Cloud, once we know that everything we have solid data quality, that information is governed, and we have those golden records, it can be activated with ease through Salesforce, Agentforce, Sales Service, Marketing Clouds, and using our existing business logic. And everything is going to start powering Agentforce because Agentforce can reach right in, and those agents read the same information that you and I would see when we log into Salesforce or look at Tableau.